Alright, and we are off. We have Spleebie starting at Link's house, Chex starting at Sanctuary. We'll probably see him head on over to Bonk Rocks, and possibly over to Cack really fast. Spleebie's gonna check out this island down here on the lake, see if there's anything worth really fast. One of the nice things about Overworld glitches and automatic boots is, if there was something on that island, we can get that immediately. Spleebie's gonna do a standard play, he's going straight to Sahasrala and get the items there. Sanctuary just has 50 rupees there, but it's at least some guaranteed bombs for by the time Chex goes to Kakariko. We do have crystals on Hera and Eastern with, I think that was a red pendant on Desert. Unfortunately, I did miss what was on Lumberjack. Hopefully, we'll get a second chance to look at that when Spleebie makes it there. Okay, so Aghanim Dream's not quite dead yet. There is Chex's bombs. Yeah, it looks like Spleebie is playing Minish Cap Link. Some more money in the Thieves' Hut. Not getting much off these tree pulls today, that's unfortunate. Alright, Chex is going straight to Death Mountain. Gonna use boots to kind of clip into this wall a little bit. If you get 8 or 9 pixels in you either get teleported straight up or straight. In this case, we went straight up because we were only 8 pixels in. If you teleport past a screen transition, the game gets a little bit confused, and if you walk right, it'll place you on that screen as if you were coming from that screen above. We'll see if Spleebie makes the same decision, or he'll go straight to Cack. Deadrock's not playing very nice. Oh, an unfortunate death for Chex over there. Deadrock just didn't want to get all the way up to deliver the old man. But we do have an early fire out over in Kakariko and Spleebie. Alright, Spleebie's got Zora money already. Check's only getting a piece of heart off the old man, but more importantly, we do get that saving quit point for Death Mountain. So like until we find the hammer and gloves, or just the only Dark World access that we have in Overworld glitches is probably going to be that Hera portal for the longest time, and then from there we'll do some clips to get to the lower part of Dark World. Alright, so we've got a hint for Ether. Don't know quite yet if it's going to be neat. The only dungeon that we actually really need to know what medallion is needed for entry is mire. We don't have a way to glitch into that entrance in Overworld glitches. Check's showing off the mandatory required knowledge on that clip to get down to Graveyard Ledge. That is the method on which that logic is based. So whenever you clip down from Death Mountain and you drop into a hole without fixing your camera, you do get this hula hand. And then he'll continue as if he started from Link's house to begin with. Alright, and then Spleebie did a quick clip down to Desert from the race game. In Overworld, in basically all the glitch modes, Desert's basically like a functional add-on to Kakariko Village. It's always a good idea just to hop into here, especially with that hook shot, right after Kakariko, since you're already here, regardless if it is a pendant or not. Chexhuman showed off a fun little clip that lets you fake flipper directly into the hobo screen. Unfortunately, nothing there still.
Hello.
Hi, Glenn.
I did miss the beginning, but it looks like they're just doing early checks right now.
Yeah, right now the play is make sure you're in Kakariko and Desert pretty. And the hookshot is pretty nice. Like a lot of the early areas where you need to kill enemies to progress, they are vulnerable to that hookshot. So you'll be able to easily clear out Desert while you're here.
As well as the hookshot allows for spin speed, which the logic requires for a lot of the flips. So you do often see early.
See a quick little spin speed clip. So a lot of the spin speed stuff that you normally use, like the stairs for to get the ultra fast speed, it's the game puts you in the same weird state that if as long as you're in that, you can go into these diagonal walls with the flat borders on the edge, and then sometimes just hop through these ledges just as easily.
Check's finally making his way to Kakariko.
With the hook shot on him, we'll probably see Spleebie go. Actually, he'll go to Death Mountain first. He'll have an easy method to clear all of Death Mountain now.
Yeah, and the hookshot really comes in handy there. Like you said, the enemies are all vulnerable to the hookshot. But other than Death Mountain, there's not really a lot of big things they can do here. I guess they can still haven't done South Shore yet, but
Yep, with that fire rod and then the full magic jobs that came from the bush. Hyrule Castle seems like a pretty good play right around now, depending on what else we find on Death Mountain.
yeah, Hyrule Castle is always a good choice. Desert should be fully clearable now, although I missed if Mole actually has an item or not.
I believe Spleebie did find both items on the front part. Yep. Most important part on how Chex did that part from Kakariko to race game to down to death. For one, you have to be ultra careful when you're so close to the edge transition to the overall map. Some weird things can happen if you wrap around in the entire map on the left or right side. But the big thing to not get stuck on hopping if you don't want the race game item is you do just want to do a normal hop down. You don't want to do a dash hop down, or you'll hop too far down and get stuck.
If you do map wrap there, you can actually safely get into Eastern Palace, but you know, like one wrong step there and you hard walk, so it's still a bit risky to do that.
Okay, so Spleebie's gonna go ahead and climb here. If we don't find a sword or a hammer in here, we can't actually get this pendant, or crystal rather, yet. But there's always that extra hint and then the 2 extra items, so not too bad of a play.
And it doesn't take that long to climb back up. And when we find the shovel, that at least leads to another item.
Well, there goes our Aghanim. There was mushroom and lumberjacks, but we just got a hint on the witch. After this bomb check, we'll probably see Spleebie go ahead and clear East Death and possibly hop down to either check out Zora or the Waterfall Ferry.
Waterfall Ferry is not a bad choice here with that hint he just going. You're gonna do this clip here called T-Rock Climb. Gonna wiggle your way up the cliff here. That lets you get over to East Death Mountain without hammer. Although he does have the hook shot, so he could have glitches technically.
Yep, this is one of the fewer instances where doing the glitched mode is a little bit faster than non-glitched, since if you do it the non-glitched way, you do have to enter caves and then climb up slowly to get back to the top to where most of the items are.
Chex missed opening the chest the first time. That's a pain I know all too well.
Does opt for that magical boomerang. It'll make a few random stress a lot easier to handle. And then especially once it's making its way down to Hyrule Castle, a few quicker key grabbing strat. So we do have early flippers and an early lantern. The only thing that the flipper is actually required for in the glitch mode is Swamp Palace itself. All the minor glitches that everyone knows that sequence breaks from most of the other tournaments, that stuff is required in this particular logic. Okay, looks like Paradox Cave was a buzz this time. We'll probably see Chex set up a water walk.
Most likely to get to Hobo a little fast. Or he already went to Hobo. So because he has the flippers, he will lose the water walk before going in the whirlpool, but it's still a bit of a faster way than just swimming there.
Yeah.
He has to be careful with these crabs.
Okay, so he's going to go straight to Easter instead. This is mostly safe as long as you don't accidentally hop off on a ledge. This gives us a messed up camera, but the risk of soft locking at this point is gone.
Yeah, there's not much risk with that one, because like as soon as you go back left, you're like back in normal coordinates, and then you can't hard lock at that point. Oh, the game's weird. Presumably, something has to be in Eastern Palace, or in the castle, I guess. We have a lot of items, but there's not really anything that can be done with them. Like, there's still no logical Dark World access.
Yep, there are a few Dark World locations that can have the Moon Pearl, including Skullwoods, Turtle Rock can have Moon Pearl, Ice Palace can have Moon Pearl, but
Also, 2 of the houses in Village of Outcasts, and the Fat Fairy, and the Pyramid.
and one of the Boomerang chests can also have a Moon Pearl, while Uncle has a cane. Alright, so Moon Pearl and Overworld glitches in glitch mode basically means access everywhere. Most of the stuff that can't be accessed is within the dungeons themselves.
He's still gonna go ahead and clear the castle out. See if there's anything there.
We do have our first glove in Waterfall. Definitely needed for a lot of more intricate access locations. There's no way to skip the first glove. And we have Hammer on Sora Ledge.
Those are some nice finds.
So this will at least give him access to finish Hero this time, next time he's there.
And also just faster Dark World access once he gets the Pearl. Won't have to jump off the mountain every time. Which is always good to have.
Yep, there goes the super jump off Death Mountain Dream to Swamp Palace. Spleebie looks like he's going to start with the back of his gate first, get those chests, while Chex is setting up a death worm to hop into the sewers afterwards. Alright, we will find out if Chex is going to have that key to make it to the back, which is a no. Don't think I saw the map yet, so I think that crouch room is going to be a map. This will be confirmed pretty soon.
That would be unfortunate for Spleebie, since he could have counted that. But actually, no, he didn't do the front yet.
Yeah, he did the front.
So neither one could.
Okay, so it wasn't the map. I missed that map whenever it popped up. And there was nothing in the back of his, so Chex isn't gonna be missing out on anything on that one. He does need to make it up to Zora, and I think that's where he's headed right now.
Interesting to not head in the dark. I guess there's not too much that can be done there yet. It'll definitely be good for him to have the hammer first and the glove.
Definitely. So he could, I guess he could do Mothula and Blind fairly easy with his current equipment set.
Well, he doesn't have a sword yet, but
Oh yeah, so he can't get to Moth anyway.
I would guess that after this he'll go. Probably he'll do Hera and then go to Fuse. Be my guess.
Or all of Dark East Death Mountain as well and then probably hop down. Maybe fit in Catfish before hopping into the...
Well, with Kane and Fire Rod, Turtle Rock wouldn't be a bad choice to do either.
All the options. Yep, so this is the thing that kind of makes routing and overworld glitches and glitch modes pretty hard in general is the game opens up pretty wide pretty fast. Yep, Chex is hopping over to Hera. Meanwhile, Spleebie is finishing up on Hera. Ooh, gonna get knocked down 2 floors.
That's brutal.
Alright, round 2. Hopefully Moldorm plays a little bit nicer this time around.
Hammer makes the fight pretty easy, but you know, he can always just give you really bad patterns and just not leave himself open.
Yeah, and I believe there's something in the code, like once every, I don't know the exact number of frames that he does make, there is one that specifically goes towards Link from time.
Yeah, I think he does like 3 random turns and then 1 towards you or something like that.
Alright, so there is an item in the basement. Chex finishes up his Moldorm fight pretty well. We'll be also trying to set up a death war after the tile room. Chex is going to follow suit and check out what this last item is as well. Just some more money, so we'll be set on rupees for the rest of the sea. We'll definitely need 100 rupees, so 110 rupees, so we can get into pod still. And if we don't find Mirror anytime soon, then then the play in to get the super bomb will actually be needed.
It's not super likely in glitches, but it can happen. Good money sink could be blue potions for equipping, but with the mushroom out of question, it's not likely they'll be in the potion shop at all. So.
I could see Chex getting some red potions and do some early smiths with that though. So, other
Early
pendant
Smiths.
is in Skull. Ice Palace is the other red crystal.
Unfortunately, Spleebie hasn't gotten the pearl yet, so we'll be only checking Super Bunny Cave. And we'll be doing it slowly. When he falls down these holes here, he gets into the Super Bunny state, which can swing the sword and open chests and dash and such.
Yep. Just need to make sure you don't bonk or else you lose that ability. Actually, GT probably wouldn't be a bad play right now either.
That's true, they have all the items for the basement, and if they know the mimic clip, they can check the whole thing. Get it out of the way. Although there is a bit of a cost to beating GT early, which is that it takes about a minute to get back to Ganon later when you have all the crystals, as opposed to being dropped right there.
Alright, and Spleebie is going to do his front part of his escape play. He's going to get his cane and his moon pearl. Then he'll have his Dark World access. With most of Dark Death Mountain cleared out for Spleebie, unless we see him do a GT play, we'll probably see him enter by Hype Cave.
Yeah, I don't think... Well, the only other viable thing at this point would be to start with Thieves Town, but... Like, if you just wait until you get a sword, then you can do Skulls at the same time. Next, we'll be checking out Dark East Death Mountain. And has also found out that the medallion for Turtle Rock is bombproof, although that is not going to be required, almost definitely. It can logically be required with certain key placements, because the logic only expects you to get in the chest entrance, not to Laser Bridge. But
Yes,
you can always
logic
get
is
up
big.
there. Use the keys.
Yeah, then logic is based around the possibilities on what people could do with the keys, even if they shouldn't be. Like on the middle entrance, when you come back to the Chomps room, you always have the option to never use that key to unlock a door you just walk through.
Well, looks like that Smith YB is gonna be out of the question now. And he also finds a sword.
What that could also do to us is that puts Mirror, or doesn't necessarily put Mirror, but it opens up that possibility to have to hop into Ice Palace for that other red crystal with Mirror and Pyramid now.
Yeah.
And then I do like Spleebie's routing as far as using this entrance. Along the way to Thieves Town, he's going to check out what that medallion is for Meyer and see if we need to get that Pyramid Fairy ether.
I also like Chex's routing here, remembering to do Spike Cave on the way to the GT. And while going for GT with all the items for it. Or I guess he's not, because he can't get out of Spike Cave safely. But it looks like he's heading there still.
Keeping that map wrapped with vanilla or with glitchless access to the rest of Dark World. No reason to wrap around this map quite yet, so other than to just go straight to GT.
You can wrap around the screen there and land right at the entrance of GT.
Just some bombs on the pyramid. Where is Spleebie gonna go?
This is some interesting routing. Normally you wouldn't walk this way, which is you would jump down. Although there is a Death Mountain ascent you can do from this area. If you notice that.
Might be seeing an early pod play, which probably wouldn't do quite yet, but this is pretty long routing to get to Catfish in this.
Catfish has another sword. Definitely rewarded for his trip.
I think we'll see the GT play, possibly Hookshot Cave first on Spleebie's side, leaving the map wrap, so he's going to GT.
Yeah, with this set of items, it's hard to ignore GT.
We have 23 locations that do not have the junk fill set, like in the glitchless modes. And then there's only like, what, 4 keys in chests?
Yeah, 4. One can be upstairs. Usually it's not. So I didn't see if Chex got the big key yet, but something to consider with routing GT in this mode is that the big chest would have progression in it. And you want to avoid coming to this area twice if you can.
Yep, it's generally faster to check that big chest before dropping down to arm, but only if you have the mirror. That way, since there's no really, you don't have a reason to leave the vanilla big key room if you have the mirror.
Speaking of Armos, often come here without the bow. You usually see some improvisation. This fight. Making use of whatever weapon is at your disposal.
I'm trying to remember who it was the other night that managed to get the synchronized last 2 Armos kill with the Samaria Block.
That was me. That was totally intentional. Best way to do this without the bow is to use sword beams, but unfortunately it's only on the fire sword.
Yeah, unfortunately when it comes... Oh, and then Spleebie took a death. Unfortunately when it comes to Armos, it's basically... One thing does a lot of damage, everything else does like nothing if it even hurts them.
Especially hard when you have Master Sword, because that does the least damage to them of anything.
So you notice that Spleebie now has clay pots inside a Dark World dungeon. So if you don't... And then for the purpose of Randomizer, if you don't have Agnum 1 defeated, or you don't have the mirror, you can never have a true Dark World upon death. So if you die while inside a Dark World dungeon, you do enter what's called fake Dark World. If you happen to be on the Overworld after this happens, and you leave the screen, you get teleported to Real Light World.
And this is behavior in the vanilla game, but it was patched out for no glitches logic because it's kind of inconvenient when you're supposed to go to Dark World early.
Yep, and then the other big thing is the pendants that you have can... If you in fake Dark World, when you have certain pendants, some Dark World crystals do not drop. I don't think we've seen anything of use yet in GT.
It's kind of surprising. I do wonder if we'll see a Mimic clip from both. Not from Chex.
Let's take stock of what is still needed. We need Mirror for Swamp. We need Ice Rod for Trinex. A bow for Pod and Easter. And some Unknown Medallion for Mike.
Bow, Ice Rod, Medallion. And we have seen 2 different swords, so they are covered on that front.
Alright, looks like we're gonna see that Thieves Town play on Chex. Oh, which way is he headed off to?
I'm not sure. Is he going to the potion shop to buy some potions? I guess so.
Yeah, got a lot of extra money, and Real said that allows you to do stuff. Not sure. Oh, I guess he just wanted to fill his magic. Now he's just stocking up for some fake flutes.
So if you are on the Overworld and you drink the blue potion and activate a screen transition on the same frame, bring up the flute menu, functional flute menu, which you can also use in the Dark World. Gives you some good options for fast travel.
If you do use it on Dark World, it does put you on fake Light World for a little bit, but then when you stream transition, you'll be back into Dark World.
Yeah.
Chex is making that Ice Palace play, so that's why he got those potions as well.
It's a good play, in my opinion. He already has the other red crystal, so he can move the bomb after death. Well, it's just getting 3 items out of here.
Definitely.
And this being one of the few dungeons that's full of purple logic.
Still probably would have preferred to see what was Mara Medallion entrance first.
Yeah. I think another thing kind of leaning towards ice play is having mitts. Mitts are not required for very many things in this logic. Ice Palace is one of them. Oh, there's some nice bomb strats.
Okay, so there's our mirror. So right now the whole idea of trying to get the red crystal to interfere is no longer needed. But this does put him right next to Swamp and make that dip right after this.
Certainly could.
I don't think we've seen any Swamp Pins yet, unfortunately.
I think probably he'll either go start with Swamp and go up to Skullwoods, or do the opposite.
And I think we have seen our arrow, I think, so far already this seed.
Actually, Skullwood and Thieves are both pendants, right? So
We do have a hint that there is a unique item, just so it'd probably be worth a dip anyways in Skullwood.
for sure.
And then the thing that kind of sucks about Thieves and Skullwood being pendants is those are generally good dungeons to dip anyways, regardless. And fairly quick dungeons to check.
Yeah, and Thieves is a really linear dungeon, and you have to go through the entire thing, basically, to get all the items. It's like when you can't then get a crystal out of that. Kinda sucks.
Alright, Spleebie is probably going to hookshot. He's done everything else on Death Mountain other than we might see that T-Rock play then.
He is definitely going there because he fixed his camera.
Could this be a pedestal seat? It could definitely have the medallion for Meyer. It could have the bow for Pod Eastern. Actually, it can have any of their items needed for go mode. It can have the bow, ice rod, or that medallion needed.
I think it's pretty likely he'll go in Turtle Rock after this, since he's already checked Catfish. It's generally Turtle Rock or Catfish are your 2 options after these checks, and they're both kind of dead ends. Well, Catfish can lead to Pod Eastern if you want.
Alright, Spleebie's got his Master Sword out of this, as well as the mitts. And do a quick little spin speed clip and you hop on over. Fortunately, it doesn't have that mirror from Ice Palace, so we can't check Mimic Cave while he's here.
And this is gonna make the routing a little awkward. I guess you have to take a Death Warp. Which is kind of annoying with Red Mail, but...
Oh, we got that. We got to hit it on Mimic Cave, so doesn't matter.
So Spleebie is going to be backing out of here by taking this key backwards. It takes a bit longer, but it guarantees that you'll have access to those front chests and not need the medallion.
Yes, there's only 2 chests that are accessible, assuming no keys or big key. And these 2 chests aren't guaranteed to have a small key at all. Another potential option is to go straight to the back of Turtle Rock and hope there's a small, or that it does have that lone small key back there.
So there's a key there. I believe that means medallion is not required. Well, I guess it depends if big key is in the other chest. Maybe?
Yeah, but at least doing it this way, you don't have to use a small key on the door above Chain Chomp, so you come out ahead on your key count.
Yeah, you don't have to use very many keys at all on Turtle Rock, because you can go backwards through Chain Chomps and through Crystal Roller Room. So you save 2 keys on those.
Oh man. Spleebie had to use that blue potion just to cross this gap.
There actually is a full magic jar in this big room that you could have gotten. In the top left.
In this room?
Yeah, in that first big room.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I knew there was one in the torch room.
Yeah, not many people know about that one. I mean, you don't really go by that way, and you don't really need it most of the time.
Yeah, and there's also going to hurt his death warp a little bit.
And Chex is making the play on Swamp here. So these 2 dungeons there are both loaded. 6 items in Swamp, 5 in Turtle Rock. It's likely that we're going to find some form of progression in one of them.
Alright, so big key is vanilla in Turtle Rock. And hard to say at that point with as many hearts as he has, if it would be better just to death warp or just go the long way back.
Yeah, well, he had like 13 hearts, and the rollers only do 1 in Red Mini. So it'll take quite a while. Chain Chomps do 2 at least, but I mean, if you go to Chain Chomps, you're already halfway there. I'm not sure about the decision to save and quit there, because he did have access to the bottom half,
Definitely.
which he neglected to check.
It's probably one of those situations like he doesn't want to go to big key and then try to make it back to big chest and death warp around there or something like that. It's just some awkward routing at that point with his equipment.
He's gonna find the mirror here, which, well, it would let a mirror wrap into Turtle Rock later, but he still needs a big key, so we have to backtrack from that. I think in that situation it would still be faster to go in the big chest entrance. Chex finds the ice rod in Swamp.
So we'll definitely see him probably hop into Turtle Rock next.
Yeah, for sure. And he'll probably go straight for a mirror wrap and work backwards.
And I think we did see the map in Turtle Rock already. So may or may not need to go back to the big chest afterwards. I like how there's enough time to get 3 of those little puffs at the same time on the spin.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Very clean fire sword Argus.
Nice quad ice rod in phase 2. I don't know
Alright,
why you didn't just use the fire rod, I guess,
for extra swag.
for extra swag. It's harder to make the ice rod shots on that fire rod.
Yeah, the ice beams, they kind of travel a little bit slower, and the hitbox is a little bit wonkier than the fire rod. I think we did see both map and compass, but we did see one already, so there's gonna be an item on the left hand side or on the big chest. I don't think we saw the big key yet either.
This putting the Spleebies in is such a pain. Just don't get out of the way.
Yeah, best routing you ever see in Ice Palace is a small key in the pin gator room or in the second freezer room, so you can avoid those fun rooms on the right hand side. Did we see 3?
Is not. You must have seen all 3 items then. Got mirror and
With the 50 rupees
I think a
and
heart
ice.
piece was on right side there.
Yeah, so
Or-
yeah. Yeah, so we got he got 3 items.
Checks. Forgot to hit the switch. Having some trouble with that freezer. Yeah, accidentally let
Spleebie,
loose.
you need a. I hope does he still have a blue potion? I'm guessing a no if he mirrored out of that, knowing he doesn't have enough magic to deal with Cold Stare.
Well, that's gonna be a big problem for him. Could have just left the room to reset the freezer.
Yeah, but then if he would have checked at least one of the extra chests, he would have gotten at least this extra small key. There's some small magic pots to the right of that switch that the block is needed for. We still didn't see the last item in the swamp, so get to see what Big Chest has for us.
Classic 20 rupees.
Alright, so we just got Ice Rod out of Swamp. See a quick hype cube check out of... Wait, I thought we already saw a hype cube out of him. Guess not.
Not sure. I guess not. This is going that way.
But we'll almost definitely see the Mire check in next. And then probably Turtle Rocket right after you're checking out what's needed for Mire.
Yeah, when you're in the general area, you need to put on a medallion you need. Oh, he's gonna just save and quit. He's planning to do now.
I'm guessing Turtle Rock now. I'm surprised he
Might just
didn't at
go
least.
straight there.
Surprised he didn't finish off the stump. Because I don't think we've checked dig spot yet either.
Yeah, I don't think they've checked Stumpy or Shuffle.
He's going straight to Pyramid.
Oh, I guess he's going to, he's gonna do Pyramid Fairy and then swim over to the Hammer Pegs, I guess. But then he's kind of past Stumpy and Dig Game or whatever. Probably he'll do Graveyard Ledge into Glam. No, he's just in DFD. So what he did there is he wrapped the screen and then used the mirror, and then places the mirror portal somewhere else, right on top, and it happens to be in the spot he did it right on top of the Pyramid Fairy entrance.
We're going to see a nice fancy jump on top of the castle.
For swag.
It's especially effective, like, if beforehand you had Aghanim defeated, because only other way around would be to hop into Uncle Cave and then come back.
So there's Ether there, as per the hint earlier. But we still don't know if that's the one needed for Meyer. So luckily for Spleebie, he's gonna have the Ice Rod on his return trip to Turtle Rock. So he can just get the rest out in one go.
Okay, as Chex approaches this screen, he's beating it on his lowest pixel when he hits left. Then hold up left, and the game just pops you out, right over here. So we need Bo, and we need to find out what Myra needs. And Chex needs to find his other sword.
Depending when he finds Bo, we might choose to route Catfish to Pod, but I get that sword, but he might very well just find another sword entirely. So checking Dig Game. Presumably he'll go down to Meyer Shed right after. You can clip right down there from here. And then get to see what medallion is needed for Meyer. And if it's E3, he can just go ahead and do it right away.
And then either way, after that, we'll probably see a clip out of Meyer to get to check out Stumpy. And then that'll be where the save and quit happens. If he doesn't activate that flute. He did decide to pick it up rather than just leave it behind at this point. That looks like Quake.
That is indeed a Quake. So we still need Bow and Quake.
We'll probably see Checkerboard Cave really fast.
It's some nice silver arrows.
Still no book, so we can't check out what these tablets are. We'll see Chex finish up with Stump and Digging Spot. I'm guessing since he took the time to activate the flute, or to grab the flute, we'll probably see him activate it. And possibly just do Smith and Purple Chest along the way.
Yeah, I would expect Smith is the next thing here. But for purple chest, actually no, he could grab it and then do thieves. You don't lose it if you get a pendant. You only lose it if you get a crystal.
Alright, we are going to see the Turtle Rock play now. We're going to see what the last 6 chests we haven't seen are.
Chex is setting up. Ooh, he soft blocked with bad input. That's unfortunate. But he was setting up to do a mirror wrap. He's gonna aim to, in a certain spot, use the mirror and screen transition on the same frame. Which will kind of make the game confused with his coordinates and let him kind of transition to a weird spot in the middle of the next screen. Which happens to put him right at the entrance of his bridge. Alright, he does it a little bit differently.
I like this method. It's pretty safe. It puts you right on top of the little ledge right outside Mimic Cave in a good position, lets you just hop right off of that. It's a
Yeah, I
lot.
feel like it takes a little longer, but it's safer. There's no chance of soft block.
Yeah, and it just depends on how good you are at setting up the proper pixel. There's our quick. Because you only have, like, I think 2 white pixels that work on the other way.
Oh, there's a number of pixels that work, but there's like a couple randomly that don't, kind of in the middle of the range for some reason. I don't really understand it.
I think it has to do with, like, basically how far into a tile you are vertically, and whether or not that snap works.
Yeah, that's probably it. Chex is going to be working backwards in the dungeon. Big key will only be in the front half in this logic, since you're not expected to do that.
It'll be
But when
noted
you,
that the next store that he comes across, in vanilla there actually is a small key door right.
but it got removed in rando for kind of just eating a key with no purpose.
Okay, so other than a potential sword and upper GT, it looks like it's a good thing they didn't do the mimic clip to do that.
Yeah, it's a... I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a risky thing to do. It's something that's out of logic and adds like a huge time commitment to reach Ganon later.
In the time commitment to do the clip itself, it does require some pretty precise input. And
Yeah, it can take a while to do the thing itself. So, I don't know. I still need to learn it personally, even though I probably won't use it very often.
yeah, for it to be truly useful, and that was a nice boost onto that platform. But in order for that memory clip to actually be useful and efficient, it would require both Pod and Eastern to be bow. You'd be otherwise in go mode without it. Okay, Spleebie is gonna do blacksmith and maybe purple chest.
You could actually full clear Thieves Town and kill Blind and keep the purple chest, but might not know that. See what he does.
Yeah, with 2 items to go, I'm thinking those pendant dungeons are going to be the last thing on his mind right now.
Yeah, probably, especially with some of the mistakes he's made so far. Try to committing too much time to such.
And so far, we've seen 1 item on an independent dungeon already that was needed.
A unique item in Skull.
Yeah, there's a unique item in Skull. We know that one. We did get that hook shot from Death.
Right, yeah.
Gonna
Of
try.
Desert's kind of just like Overworld in this one.
Alright, so there was a 3rd sword for Spleebie at Bomb. If Chex finds the bow soon, we probably won't see him head over there.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure where Chex is likely to find his 2nd sword. Depends when he gets the bow. But if he doesn't get it here, probably Thieves will be his next play, or that Village of Outcasts area.
Oh, and Big Chest has an item in here. So he has to make that decision on if he wants to go to Catfish from here, or check out and see what that big chest item is. Well, there's the 2nd sword.
Hey, we found all 4 swords. So. I could see in this position doing Catfish Pod Eastern. I think that would be a fine play.
Yeah, but then with the way that he did his routing on here, so he's going for the big chest. Maybe. So he's checking this out first. The unfortunate part about starting from the back door in Turtle Rock is you have 0 access to the big chests immediately until after you're done with the dungeon.
Yeah. Although I don't think he checked Mimic Cave either, so there would be 2 checks if he went that way.
There was I forget, I don't remember where the hint
Alright,
was,
yeah,
but
there was a hint for that, yeah.
looks like we got nothing from Purple Chest. That's unfortunate. So, well, we're definitely going to see the Meyer play come. Oh, where is he going?
That's a good question.
I'm guessing activate flute and then go down to my. We haven't cashed in the bottle yet either.
That's true. Yeah, activating the flute here is like the same amount of time compared to just going, like, walking the miner, so it's worth doing. But he seems to be... I guess he's gonna go for that unique item in Skull. And then activate the flute. Probably, like, check Village of Outcasts, tip front 4 Thieves.
Yeah, but Spleebie made his way over to Skull as well.
Yeah, Spleebie was just there at Sick Kid. I remember that.
Don't think we saw our item yet in Skull.
I saw bombs on Spleebie's side, I think. So that's one of the items, yeah.
Just not our unique item.
Got some sink here going up to this chest.
Okay, so we've got our last item in the back half. In this particular situation, we will probably see them check out the bridge chest first rather than go straight to Moth.
Yeah, with it being a pendant for sure. We haven't gotten a hint for the green pendant yet, have we?
And I don't
Oh,
think
the
so.
big key is really not what you want to see there.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth the trek to go to Mothula at this point rather than go all the way back and then find out you need to do Mothula anyway. Fortunately, with the small key in hand, they don't really need to bother with this mummy.
Looks like Spleebie managed to get the double hit at the beginning of the fight.
And Mothula is hanging out right by the spikes on Chexhuman's side. So a lot of his damage has been cancelled out.
Is Chex' sprite just always green? Does he actually have red mail? Oh, I know what happened. I've seen it before. Yeah, if you fall down a Mothula while you're a bunny, you have the bunny palette during the fight. That's why he was green.
I just wish Bunny Beam Link would still have the no falling animation like real Bunny. And there's our bow.
Well, that's go
Chex.
mode for Chex.
Yep, and then unfortunately for Spleebies, we'll probably see him full clear Eastern and Pod before going back to Death Mountain. So that's 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 4 seconds go mode for Chex.
Yeah, this is a unfortunate situation for Spleebie. Hopefully he goes back to Turtle Rock. He did check the Meyer Manila already. He opts not to get bombed.
And it's nice having silver arrows for this particular set of sequences for this go mode. Makes error management a lot easier. Bow go mode is actually pretty terrible. There's been quite a few races I've been lost due to that, and then running out of arrows in the middle of GT and you can't climb back up. This was long before the mimic clip day.
Oh, I see what Chex is doing. This thing that was discovered kind of recently.
You can hop into that portal. Nice.
Yeah, he's gonna be skipping Kiki. Put that portal in a specific spot. For some reason you can collide with it like this. Then he's right on top of the door now.
That is one fast Kiki skip for Overworld glitches.
It's definitely a big time save when you're coming from that portal. You don't have to go all the way through the maze or watch Kiki's cutscene.
Oh, Spleebie's gonna finish off GT.
I wonder if he's doing this as a gamble, knowing he's probably behind. Because doing the top of GT, you generally try to save that for last. So by doing it first, you might be able to find the last thing.
I mean, the nice thing about doing GT first with Go mode is it's a lot easier to get arrows quickly built back up after GT going into Pot and Easter than it is to get more arrows built up pretty fast in GT.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch your arrow count if you're going to be going to GT. Chex is going straight to Alma, so I guess he had a good key layout. Good paying attention there. We got just some combat rooms on both sides.
Pretty good at Gauntlet overall on Spleebie's side.
Yeah. A little bit of trouble on Gauntlet 3, but it's just...
Yeah, conveyor belts and spike traps aren't really pretty clean helmet sword fight on Chexhuman side. That is crystal number 5 for him. Quick mirror over to Eastern Pal and hoping for an early big key. And unfortunately for Spleebie, there's almost nothing that can be up on these top 4 chests for him. We might see a book or cane of burn, if anything.
Yeah, there's nothing that's really going to help him here. They already have silvers and all the swords.
Yep, and we know where Mushroom is and Blue Boomerang is.
Rockets. Likely that he'll go to Odd and Eastern after this. There being the most items there. The dungeon he has left.
I mean, I could also see him make a Turtle Rock play and then clip on down to Pot and East.
Yeah,
It
that.
just doesn't seem too likely of an option.
I mean, that's probably the better routing choice. I think it's faster overall to do that.
But Pyramid is also pretty close to Pot Eastern right now.
Yeah.
Aghanim giving not too hot pattern into a little bit off sync.
Yeah, this fight's pretty funky right now. But he gets through it.
And unfortunately, we have a vanilla big key on Eastern. Let's see if Spleebie does a nice little clip to get to bypass some screens to pod, or if he's going to take the long way around. Unfortunately, the problem with the idea of just killing Ganon is you can't kill Ganon. There's some special randomizer code linked to whether or not you complete the goal for the seed, whether it be defeat Ganon doesn't actually just defeat Ganon, it's actually kill Aghanim 2 and defeat and get all the crystals. But there's some special code that if you do not meet this goal, phase 4 of Ganon is invulnerable, so you can't actually ever kill Ganon unless you somehow manage to do all the damage in one teleport cycle.
I think it is technically possible with the quad silver setup.
Yeah, basically if you don't have the goal met, his health regenerates on every teleport. And if you do hop into the Ganon's hole, the usual puns that you would normally see get replaced by Ganon taunting you about not completing your goal.
So Chex is heading towards Maya, which is his last first goal. And then he just has to do GT. And he's already cleared the basement, so he'll just be climbing the gauntlet. Unfortunately, Spleebie has chosen to go to pot on Eastern first, so he's not going to be finding his Quake here.
Yeah,
Although
unfortunately,
he does have to go all the way through Eastern anyway.
Yeah. Unfortunately, on Spleebie's side, so the play that basically determined this race was the early T-Rock play, and then not completely clearing out what he. If he would have continued on to, or even if he couldn't do Trinix at the, he would have gotten that Quake already on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, that would have been really good for him. And then at that point, maybe not at that point, but at some point you'd probably have gone to Skullwoods at the same time that he did. And that boat would have been in Skull mode.
Yeah. But given that he didn't have Mirror at the time, and he was at full health with Red Mail, and he was at 13 hearts at the time, so it would have been a really long death warp or a long trek. I mean, I totally get why he decided to save and quit at the end.
Yeah, it's a fair decision, but it just happened to be the wrong one. Quake was on Laser Bridge.
Alright, grabbing the quick full magic drop here, so Check's gonna at least get through this first room of the basement.
And I assume he's setting up for spooky action. Let's see his clear time here.
Yeah, there's some
He
fun.
didn't. He didn't.
Technically do it. So there's some funky things that goes on behind the scenes in the code, and it's all determined by like different values on what different sprites have in the slots. When you toss a Mario block into a hole, it sets like a not necessarily a Y value. Is it the Y value or is it some other offset? So
Altitude.
yeah, there's an altitude value. When you toss a Mario block on there, the slots still stay. Well, the altitude is ultra high, so whenever you fire a fire rod, the fire rod itself goes into the same slot that the Mario block was. And then the altitude is what determines like how the little splash works, which more or less just puts you on top of a crystal whenever it goes.
Yeah, it's displaced 255 pixels north, which is the height of a small room. So you basically just hit the crystal switch in the next room.
Alright, with that said, Chex does have his final crystal. Just needs to make a quick trip through Gaines and take care of a giant pig for us. Meanwhile, Spleebie is going to have to full clear a pot while he's still looking for that quake to be his go mode. And there's our hint that tells us where that ice rod was. And a quick reset after hitting that switch, just to reset those beetles so he doesn't get knocked back when he's trying to hop over to this. Huh,
Oh,
that was weird.
maybe it wasn't holding up or something. Because he got clipped in fully.
Yeah. Yeah, because either you get that a horizontal boost perfectly, and you're in the position right, and you go through, or if it's off, you just fall, not kind of staying in the air like that for a little bit.
His seems to be helping her just go normally now.
It's like I'm not sure what happens if you hold diagonal up, if you do up left or up right when you do the bomb with a hammer jump. I have no idea what happens if you do that
I
input.
don't know. Probably it still works, but I don't know for sure.
It depends if that first move it has to be that 2 pixels up or not. Meanwhile, Chex is just a couple of floors away from making it all the way up to Aghanim 2. Couple more chests for Spleebie to check before he makes his way up to Helmosaur. Knowing that he doesn't have any more items left in Ice Palace, and knowing he can't enter Crystal Mire yet, we'll probably see him deciding to finish Turtle Rock at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did something else. I will put him in gold. Sadly, a little too late.
Wait, what small key is he missing? I'm guessing there's a small key at Big Key location.
Probably.
Yeah, a small key can't be in the maze or... Okay, so that would...
I don't
that's
know
his
what
last...
did he like check the maze and then went back and hammer jammed?
Wait, yeah, he did check the maze, didn't he?
Maybe he just mirrored too early by accident or something.
Yeah, or it's unfortunate. Back in the very first Link to the Past tournament, randomizer tournament ever, we did have a racer that, and this was after doing Thieves Town without a hammer. Makes a trip back to Thieves Town with a hammer to check on the big chest. Has the mirror out, accidentally mirrors out instead of opening the chest.
Oh, I've done that a few times.
Alright. We'll probably see Chex finishing up Ganon by the time, around the same time Spleebie finishes up Helmasaur. Maybe. It'll be close.
With silvers should be about a minute 20, minute 30 most.
Yeah, we'll see what the third phase warps look like. Clean 1 and 1 on Chex's side. In the middle of phase 3, as Spleebie enters Helmasaur fight. Sandwiching hammers to the face, breaks that mask. And then either 4 tempered slashes or silver will take care of the last part. Does not get that double, but might be set up for a triple.
Not quite a triple.
So right around the same time for the 2 boss finishes, I think we should be seeing Spleebie go straight up to Turtle Rock if he doesn't decide just to get that Ice Palace Crystal first. And Chex does finish up with an official SRL time of 1 hour 33 minutes and 29. Is Spleebie forfeiting? We don't see the forfeit yet on SRL. Oh, there we go. I just can't hear a flute.
Sometimes sound effects get cut out for some reason, I don't know. Yep, so he is gonna head straight to Turtle Rock. He is gonna get his Quake along the way and be in go mode. Is setting up to go straight to the bridge first because he knows where that big key is. Yeah, so he'll mirror wrap in here and then go straight back to the big key. Well, I guess he's still looking for Quake, so he's gonna check all the chests. But he'll find it here and then get the big key and head back. Mirror back out and go to Trinix. We're joined by the winner, Race Chexhuman. GG.
GG.
Spleebie, you don't have the big key.
So, 133. It's a pretty fast clipper. How did you feel about the seed?
I got a little bit confused in my overworld routing, but I don't know. If I had to do it all over again, I would probably do approximately the same thing. Having just a few items to go in Swamp Palace was kind of interesting. I didn't want to take any gamble on Swamp left side. All I needed at that point was bow and a sword and a medallion of some kind. I had no medallions at that point, I guess. I knew that I should maybe check Pyramid Fairy and then Mire, and maybe that would be a match. It was not a match, but all I really needed to do was beeline it to Skull Woods, where there was a unique item, and then go to Turtle Rock for go mode.
Yeah, I did notice, like, you started heading to Mire after Swamp, but then you quit and went to Fat Fairy instead.
Yeah, because I just wanted to have a medallion.
Yeah, because of the ether there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the play that probably cemented the race. Spleebie did a pretty early T-Rock dip. You got everything except the big key chest, so he didn't have the mirror by the time he entered. So he made it deep into down by Royal Room and decided to save and quit out. So that kind of took away all incentives of coming back to Mire anytime or T-Rock anytime soon. Q got Bo right around the same time though. He was just missing that Quake medallion.
Yeah, you were both in Skullwood at the same time.
He did have a mishap in Ice Palace, so he does need to finish off Cold Stare still. He had some unfortunate movement from his Freezor, and he had to end up using an extra Fire Rod shot, so he didn't have enough magic to do anything with Cold Stare at the time.
Oh, right. Right. In terms of routing, I was a bit worried about Skullwoods, just leaving it hanging there. That can be a first stop for me. And it just wasn't the seed with Skullwoods and Thievestown pendants.
Definitely.
Yeah, you
so-
definitely put that off for a long time, and I don't blame you for doing that.
Yeah.
Lots of other options open.
All
Kind
right.
of surprising that nothing was in GT.
Yeah.
All the items from the basement came out fairly early.
Right. So Spleebie looks like has another sword. Do you see where that other one was?
Bombable Hut.
Okay. Yeah, I got away with skipping that area of the world.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising. The decision, like, you swam over and checked hammer pegs, but then you didn't check smiths or village forecasts or anything. You
Yes,
just went straight down
exactly.
the mire. I suppose, like, the only... Well, I don't think you had the bow yet at that point.
No. Right.
You did want to find out the mire medallion.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, after Turtle Rock even, I guess I had Fire Sword at Trinex, got Master Sword at Trinex, and then I could have Map Wrap to Skullwoods, and that would have been fast. Instead, I got the catfish item because I didn't want to leave it hanging. Because that could have been I could have left it there forever if I didn't check it then. So that
Would have been a
was a
nice
sword
plot for a
upgrade.
bow, though.
What did he say?
Would have been the best plot for a bow at that point for you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Given how close it is to Pod Eastern. Yeah. So, yeah. Interesting seed.
Yep, and then I believe there was still one item left in big chest, or was that supposed to be a small key? I wasn't sure if you were counting the small keys on that particular in Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock, there was a small key, yeah. In the big chest.
Okay. And unfortunately, Spleebie's running away from the direction he needs to be for the big key. This particular chest in the big room of Myra's kind of awkward on when the best time is to get that.
Right.
Alright, gonna get his big key here, make his way over to Vitreous, and then he need to make his way back over to Ice Palace so he can get that last crystal.
Maybe also making use of spooky action here. Looks like he got it set up with the flute though.
Yep, that's definitely the method speedrunners use these days. Something that you'll be using in the middle of the way to get there. Nice and painless Vitreous for Spleebie saw it.
11 silvers and he's dead.
Then I don't think he's forgotten about Ice Palace yet.
I certainly hope he doesn't be dead.
Like he knows he's got all the items on that.
It'd be quite painful to run all the way again. Have him tell you can't go in.
Alright,
He does remember.
Yeah, unfortunately he would have been able to finish Ice Palace if he didn't accidentally use up a little bit too much magic in his trip into Turtle Rock. Where he had to ended up having to use his blue potion so he could make one less platform.
Chex, I guess another thing I wanted to ask about is kind of right after you did escape and you got the pearl. You didn't go in the dark world, you did Zora and Waterfall first.
Oh yeah.
What is your thinking on that?
I'm reluctant to go into the dark world without the mirror, of course. and I felt like the flippers would lead to something. I wanted to take advantage of all the rupees in the world in my pocket. Yeah.
But definitely ended up being the correct play, so.
Yeah. Yeah. How much did Spleebie do before getting to the hammer?
He got that pretty early. It took him a while to make his way back to Escape to get that Moon Pearl and Samaria.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like the last light world thing he did.
Mhm.
Never did East. He didn't do Eastern. Oh, later.
Oh, I was really thinking about Eastern without bow early, but I just don't really do that. It would have been interesting. There's just so little progression in my route. But yeah, it didn't.
It's a hard
Didn't.
play to make.
Alright, with Butter Sword, Spleebie's final crystal boss will be nice and painless.
Solid 18 hearts, red mail, gold sword. Not a super dangerous fight at that point.
Probably see a flute to 5 and then possibly 4. Not 4, 3. Have some fun over at Ganon. Four's good too.
Running from the house.
Unfortunately, Gold Sword doesn't actually make the Ganon fight any faster. It just makes the first 2 phases easier to make sure they stay 1 cycle Z. Six slashes between trident spins is all it takes to get to the next phase. And I don't think Ganon warped too many times this time around, did he?
No, he did not.
No, there were 0 extra warps.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a pretty nice cannon.
Just off center, so not enough time for that to shoot another arrow.
He had a good setup, but he just didn't get the shots in fast enough.
Yeah, the thing that's not very fun about a lot of projectile weapons, you can't have more than 1 of them on screen at a time. So if you happen to miss a shot with a bow, you basically mess up an entire strat, unfortunately. And Spleebie does finish up with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 50 minutes and 6. And then we'll try to get him in for an interview as well. And we are joined by Spleebie. GG's.
Hey, GG.
Yeah, so looks like the one play that ended up deciding the race was that save and quit out of Turtle Rock, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was bad. I planned to do a death warp there, and that would have changed. And if I hadn't died in Ice Palace, I mean, that would have changed everything. But
You ran out of magic in Ice Palace as well.
or yeah, that's what
Yeah, yeah. So that room that you ended up using your blue potion in, you had two different options at that point. On the you said it was the left side, Glenn, of that first big room in Turtle Rock. There's a big magic refill there.
Yeah, it's on the upper left.
Or could have just gone straight to Torch Room and fill up the magic there rather than burn that blue potion.
Yeah, I didn't know there was one in the big room there. I thought about going right, and I was like, oh, I can also go check the hint, and there's a full magic there, forgetting that there's another Samaria bridge there.
Yeah.
So that didn't help.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering if you had a second blue potion as you were given some troubles by that Freezer right before Cold.
Yeah, and I could have gone upstairs and gotten the key and gotten into that room on the right, and that
Yeah.
probably would have given me full. But at that point, I was like, I've gotten all the items, so I'll just come back. But
Oh,
I don't know. Just those two together, I mean, wouldn't have made 17 minutes, so GG checks.
Well, it probably would. So, only thing Chex had to do in 3 dungeons was find a big key and move on. So you did end up having to do like a full clear of a few extra dungeons. And then Chex didn't have to do any checks on GT. Because you barely got the bow first and just missing the quake. So it's really hard to say. You would have had going a touch earlier or something like that. And then we saw that bow on in Skullward's big chest, like, well, he's gonna do everything else other than go back to T-Rock now.
Yep. I mean, I had to hope it wasn't in Turtle Rock, but it was.
Oh well. It's just the place you gotta make sometimes. Other than that, how do you feel about that seed?
I mean, I don't know. Other than that, I think it was pretty fine. Moon Pearl was kind of weird. Was it Uncle or the chest near Uncle?
The chest near Uncle. Uncle had Samaria.
Yeah, that's right. So that was a little bit weird. And then finding Mirror in ice. After I had done a bunch of things where I would, like Turtle Rock, where I wish I had the mirror. But that felt kind of bad. But, I don't know. Other than that, I felt okay about it. Didn't even dip into Thieves Town, which was weird.
Neither of you did.
Yeah, at that point, I was like, well, I know there's a unique item in Skullwoods, so I was going to go back to Thieves Town if Skullwoods had something dumb like Burna. Oh, and the mushroom on the ledge, and then the hint that the witches led to a heart piece was super nice.
Yeah. And GT was completely empty.
Yep.
And which is kind of sus given all the items to fully clear the entire bottom was in logic immediately.
Yeah, and I was heading
Yeah.
to pod when I was like, I always regret not going to GT sooner. So I saved and quit and went to GT instead. And then it has nothing, and so it's like, ugh.
Yeah, we thought you were going to go down to pod after Catfish, given that you did that ultra long route to Catfish.
Yeah. I was gonna do Catfish after Turtle Rock, but ended up saving and quitting out of there. That was, I guess, if Ice Rod was in Turtle Rock the first time I was there, I could finish it.
You would have to mirror out as well to get out
Yeah.
of the front if you
Well,
didn't
if I, oh yeah, mirror, that's true.
Sorry, I was on mute for a second. I just wanted to say that hint for Potion Shop was pretty funny. And it took me a while to put 2 and 2 together because I forgot I had seen the mushroom.
Oh. Yeah, I wrote that down and I was like, well, crap, I hope that's not a thing.
Exactly. I wrote it down too, so eventually
Yeah.
I just refreshed my memory.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that hint, it was a big sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks guys for doing commentary and tracking. Thanks Chex for the race. Hopefully have a better seed tomorrow.
Any other
Right.
final
Thanks for the race. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to tomorrow along with another Gland Zero rush. So it'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
there,
gonna be a
look.
tough tournament.
Sorry, I was gonna say I won the collection rate game. Right? That's what we're really
Higher
going for.
collection rate? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That is what you multiply your points by to get your final score.
All right.
Alright, if we don't have any other thoughts for tonight, thanks everybody for watching. I think the combo rain or the Super Metroid Link to the Past randomizer is still going on 4. It started a while back, so I'm not sure if it's still running. Probably not now. But otherwise, we are done for the night. There is a Metroid Zero Mission tournament match coming up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Just 4 short hours from now. And then we do have a lot more Overworld glitches action coming up. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Once again, I am JC87. And
I'm
join
Glenn.
my clan. So have a great night all.
Nine.